Good morning. Welcome to What Would Your Soul Like to Tell You? This is where I am going to come in weekly to give some messages, share some wisdom, and just help you on your life path. I've had some people bring in and sends me some messages through Instagram, so I'll do those today. And I will also do just a collective reading just for anyone who is looking for some guidance as they move forward. On this beautiful Wednesday fall day, as I lean into what some of the messages are, I'm just going to pull a beautiful Tao Tarot from the I Ching. This deck is inspired from the I Ching and really just helps us understand the shifts and changes that are happening at this time in our lives. And the card is progress. It really speaks about advancement, gaining recognition, appreciation, achievements, acceleration, increased clarity. And when I lean into this, what this means for the collective today, what is the achievements? Like we've been working so hard, and the things that's coming in is the astrology and the solar system. And this has been a tough year for different astrological shifts, placements, and we do see that. We see that in the collective, we see it in the politics, we see it in the economy, and there's been some real challenges and shifts going on. And this is almost like a tipping point where it's moving. I'm not sh We're gonna see some progress coming the other way, where it's not as crunchy, it's not as difficult. And so it's really inviting you to start looking at what are your ways forward? What is your path forward? And it's almost like I see uncovering. I'm thinking of the paths that I walk with my dog as we walk around our beautiful lake where I live. And I just see uncovering the path of leaves. And that's what you need to do. So it's not going to be this bright lit pathway. I almost see like, choirs of angels going, go here. This is where you need to go. It's not that way. It has been crunchy. It has been difficult. And you have been really looking. If you've been doing the work, you've been releasing what no longer serves you. You've been really listening to your triggers and recognizing some patterns that are going on. And in this chaos, figuring out what you don't want to bring forward. And so now a path is starting to become uncovered. You're just flipping the leaves away and you're recognizing which way you need to go. So it is looking around you for synchronicities. Look around you when you put your hand on your heart and you connect to your soul. What is it that you really want? And when I have that, that's like almost a tingle. What is it that you really want to create in your life? Instead of what is it you should create in your life? So shoulds are all the programming. Shoulds are I have all these people expecting things. When I look outside of me, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And instead, this is an invitation for you to really look at what you want to create in your life, what you want. Where is the alignment? And for me, it's almost, when you have the resonance and you hit a tuning fork and it resonates and it vibrates the other tuning fork beside it, and it just resonates. And it's almost like as you're in alignment down the path, you can hear it because it's resonating down the path. You know where you need to go. And how do you start doing that? Part of it is, what are some of the ways that you create silence in your life to listen and tap into your own soul? And when I say silence, for some people, It was interesting. I met someone at the Wellness Expo this weekend, and actually was there was a meditation card, and this person is not a meditator, but they do work out every day. And their actually meditation and how they align their chakras, how they align and listen is actually through movement. So when I say meditation, it might be walking meditation. It might be like I do. I have this daily walk with my dog, and it just allows me to look at the synchronicities in nature. It allows me to listen and drop in to my own body and get out of the cyclic cycles of my mind. And so, what is your practice? Do you have a quietness where you can put your hand on your heart and listen? Do you know when you're in alignment? Do you know when you're misaligned? Because part of it is starting to be curious, starting to recognize where you want to go and what you're trying to achieve. And I do find that interesting because sometimes people come and they say, "Well, Michelle, I'm not sure. I don't know what I want. I don't know where I want to go. How about you let me know?" And um, and I'm a huge believer that we need to be the narrators. We need to be the authors of our own destiny. And that it's not about fate. It's not about handing your power over to me or even to a deck of cards. But you can use them for the synchronicities. So I do use my cards to help me recognize when I'm in alignment. I help them recognize because I have when I'm moving in the right direction. And so for me, what it looks like is I burn incense. And in this space, it's very warm and inviting for me. And so with the incense, I put on my music and I just take time to drop into my body and just to breathe deeply, and just imagine myself grounding into the earth. And then I imagine my chakras, just this beautiful line, clearing, cleansing, restoring right up into the universe. And I imagine my spirit team around me, my spirit guides, my angels, my loved ones in spirit. And I call them in. I call them in for guidance. I call them in for help, recognizing that I can have messages that come that way. And I recognize when I'm not in alignment. And it can be challenging to move into alignment. And I know I'm having a difficult time when I don't come down to my room, when I don't make that space. And it's hard because we have busy lives. Many of you may be parents, may be with spouses, have work, and have so many ways that you are called to care for and serve in your community. And a big piece that I've learned is that if you don't take the time to fill your own cup, you're giving from your life energy and you're not giving from that full cup. So you really need to take this time, no matter how busy it gets, to connect with your own soul, your own messages, creating what you want, your destiny, not just responding to fate. And start looking for the progress that's happening around you, because you've been working hard, and I see it for myself. So when I look at this own card in my own life, I see it for myself. I see it for myself in the progress of my thinking. It's almost like a puzzle lock. And my puzzle lock has like I finally found the word that I needed to, and the word for me has been surrender. And so as I surrender, as I just lean into what I need to do and I know I need to do, and I've been avoiding. This U2 Live is a perfect example. As I lean in, as I share, as I talk, it really helps me progress towards this destiny I'm trying to create. And this weekend, I was at the Wellness Expo in Cochrane, Alberta, and it was just beautiful. Just As you go there, you see the mountains just rising out of the foothills, and I will never get tired of that awe-inspiring view. You just feel connected. Cochrane has ley lines and vortexes as well, which is really interesting. Calls healers there. And I had the honor of reading for so many women. And I recognized as I'm at this expo doing my readings and really leaning into my service of helping guide women in transitions, um, helping guide those that I serve, understand the messages that they're getting. And some of that is through the cards, my own intuition, and really encouraging them to recognize the messages they're getting because they are so important and even more important than the cards and my message. What are the words, images, phrases that are coming to them? Because this is about their destiny and their choices. And so, which ones align for them? And so, for me, that progress this weekend was standing in my power and reading for these women and understanding the sacred conversation that comes. And that's why I love doing this. I love doing this with cards. I love connecting. And it's just a powerful service. Another card that I pulled for the collective is Michelle Buchanan's um, eh, numerology deck. And this one, you can't see it, unfortunately, as easily. It says effort. And that's where I was saying that the pathway, you have to clear the leaves. There is effort involved in making the progress that we want right now. So it's not just going to be, as I said, that well-lit path, go down here. And in that effort, sometimes we avoid the effort. And I know for myself, I'm like, well, if it's easy, that must mean I'm in the right way. That must mean, if I'm in this cycle of challenge and I'm in this cycle of triggers and clearing what I need, but it isn't. Where there's effort, lots of times we have to adjust ourselves. We have to figure out, is this effort worth it for us? Is this path that we're going down worth it? Is it really what we want? Once again, using this YouTube Live, getting up, doing this, it's easy to abandon ship, or am I saying, no, this is what I need to do? I need to really make sure that I show up. I need to come here. I need to do this. It takes effort. So where in your life are you seeing the pathways to progress? Where in your life do you recognize that there is a bit of effort that needs to be applied so that you create and manifest in your life what you want down that path? It's the what's coming in my mind right now is, my dad used to say, you have to put some elbow grease into this. It's not just, you have to work a bit. And it's interesting because in this field of energy work, in this field of quantum leaps, sometimes it's this idea of, well, do you believe that everything you want to achieve has to have effort? And I don't believe that. I believe that we can shift our mind and we can align more easily, so it makes it an easier pathway. There still is effort, though, because in that effort, it is clearing what does not serve us on our pathway. And that's an important piece right now, is really aligning and recognizing how we need to move forward. And so where is that effort? Where is that path? Where's that progress? I am now doing a moon deck. And I'm just going to pull apart a card because yesterday, the 21st, was a new moon in Virgo. So what is the message for us? I live each moment with a presence of gratitude. Oh, that's such a powerful card. And you can see she has the moon in oops, I have to go this way, her moon in her beautiful belly. And it's this idea of the new moon is a time when we plant the seeds for what we want to create in our lives. It's that effort, looking where we're going, that pathway going downwards. That's exactly what it's talking about. And this is the work where, and this is the hard challenge of when we want to manifest where we want to go. Because often right now in this work to get the progress we want, that's going to take effort, we have to have the energy of where we want to go. So if you think of your life in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, we have to have that, we have to think about that version of ourselves. And what is the energy of that person? And Dr. Joe Dispenza, in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being You, really outlines it beautifully. So if you have Spotify, you can listen to the audiobooks for free. So it's kind of cool. And you can dig into his very prescriptive way of doing that. In essence, what it's really talking about is knowing where you're going, understanding the energy of that person. And, is there examples? Do that Barbara Walters interview with that version of yourself. What do you feel like? What are you doing? How did you get there? And then having that energy in this now. And that energy of achieving your goal, I think of taking this great big hike. We're right near the mountains, and we love doing at Lake Louise, the 2 tea huts hike. It's just beautiful. You can stop, you can have tea, you do one, you cross over the mountains into the 6 glaciers, and it's just gorgeous. It's about 22-kilometer hike, and you're exhausted, but you feel grateful for the views. You feel grateful for the steps. Your feet are hurting, but you feel like you have achieved so much. So you know your path, you know where you're going. And in the now, what is the gratitude you hold? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about having in the now. Eckhart Tolle does the same thing. Our only power is in this now. And we have to have these elevated emotions of gratitude, joy, happiness, recognizing that we are achieving in this moment what we want to be in 5 years, in 6 months, in a year. And so in this new moon, feel the gratitude for where you're going. Release the fear, the anxiety, all the checklists, because this is an energy. This is making sure that you're leaning in and creating that destiny and understanding what you're creating, which is powerful. I'm now going to take our beautiful Chris Ann Donnelly Lightseer deck, and I'm going to pull 3 cards. 3 tarot cards. The other ones were all oracle. And I'm just going to lean in and find out more specifically, how can we do this? How can we plant the seeds that we want and make the progress that we want? Our first card is the 2 of Cups. Cups is the suit of water. Cups is the suit of relationships, emotions, intuition. And it is this suit is specifically about relationships. So you have to ask yourself 2 things. Is there a relationship that is important for you to connect with as you move forward? For me, when I look into this is my relationship with self. One of the most important ones, and one I continue to struggle with. I find as a wife and a mother, I want to serve everyone else. And I have to recognize that to fill my own cup is important. What I choose to do with my time, what I choose to do with me is important. And that relationship and commitment to myself without anger, without shame, without guilt is important and is essential as I move forward. And that's where the Seven of Swords, the next card, comes in. Swords is the suit of air, it's the suit of our thinking, communication. And in the Seven of Swords, for me, this card comes up because it's really about stealing. So in this card, he's stealing something out. So you could look, is someone actually stealing something from you? For me, this card is a personal card of my thinking. So it's that stinking thinking. It's that idea of spiral negative thinking going downward, like fear. Well, what if? What if I do this and it doesn't work? What if everybody doesn't listen? What if I can't speak well? What if? What if? Which is so interesting because if the what ifs are in the future, we can create our what ifs negatively. What if it at all goes to hell in a handbasket, as my mom used to say? But the what ifs could also be, what if everything goes tickety boo? What if everything just goes lockstep, chook, 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 easy path? Yes, it is an effort to clear it, but it's easy. I understand and I know where to go. What if I surrender and I create what I am looking for? What if? What if the positive? And so it comes back in so many ways. We see it and we hear it in so many different ways. Um, which wolf are you feeding? Which dragon are you feeding? Are you feeding the dragon of hope, gratitude, and knowing where you're going? Are you feeding the dragon of fear, anxiety, and just becoming really dense and not moving? And this one, to me, is a warning to myself, because which dragon am I feeding? And I have to make sure that when I really am working on building this relationship to myself and where I want to be, and that version of myself that I want to become, I have to really work hard at calming my nervous system and um, watching the different ways that I can self-sabotage myself. So that's what I need to do, that's where this wheel card is exactly what I talked about. So this is the wheel card that I spoke about earlier in this live when I said, are we going to just respond to fate, or are we going to create our destiny? And these are these moments where you're like, you can't make this up. I just shuffled the cards and pulled them. And that's exactly what it's talking about is, are you going to respond? So there's just so many layers of looking at yourself, looking at what can derail you, and then taking that effort and that choice to move towards your destiny. This is a time to make good progress. So when the astrology is looking like it can help us move, it's almost like following that wave in the ocean, just following the wave in. It's so much easier if you follow that wave in than if you fight against it. And so follow that wave in your life that is bringing you towards who you want to become, who you want to be, and the life that you want to create. Very beautiful. Okay. Well, I did have two different questions that came in, and one was from SS, and he asked about work. And he said he's in a position where he has lost his job, and he's just wondering, what is the invitation now? What does he need to know? How does he need to move forward? Okay. So I'm going to start with the Tao Oracle card. This is a beautiful one for shifting and changing. It's based on the I Ching, the Chinese divination system. Okay. Do you know what? Isn't this crazy? Because I picked out the progress card. And this is an energy thing. It happens when you work with cards. You actually pull out the exact card that you just worked with. I just shuffled the deck and I'm going through and I picked out this card. I'm going to pick out another one, not because I don't think that isn't there, but sometimes that stickiness, that energetic, because it's like, oh yeah, here's the card, because I feel which card I need to pick. Okay. What is the card that's going to go with it? Discipline. So progress, SS, takes discipline. And this is going to be an important piece for you. It's really important if you want that progress. There's going to be work involved, and you have to figure out, just like before, what is it you're trying to create? What is it that you want in your life? Where do you want to be? If you want a job, what job is it? Is it a job just to pay the bills? Is it a job towards working towards your career or purpose in life? What is it that you want for yourself? Because that's going to be an important thing to, first of all, think about that, use all the aspects that I used previously. And now, with that effort to get the progress, you have to have the discipline. So you have to first really dig in and think about what you want. And then the second piece is you have to imagine and wonder how you can get it. So if you know what job you want, how are you going to get it? That might mean you have to look online. It means you might have to beat the pavement and hand out resumes. You need to go talk, you need to go connect. Because if it's the easy path, then I might be a bit worried for you. So don't find the easy route. Find the one that takes discipline for who you want to become in your destiny, in your next version of who you are. And sometimes the universe takes a job away because there's something better for us. There's a learning in that for us to really contemplate and think about, to understand. And in the Mel Brown deck from Australia, I have responsible. It's being responsible for your destiny, which fits perfectly with our discipline card. So you are responsible for the choices. You are responsible for really aligning and figuring out what you want. And sometimes that can be hard. And I know in my loved ones who have been in a situation where they're looking for work, you can get in this point where actually you can get negative thinking. And all of a sudden, that negative thinking, that fear, anxiety, and even we have negative thinking about ourselves, really brings us into an alignment with energy that is very dense, doesn't move, doesn't allow us to have progress. And so the discipline is to think about the job you want, think about all the skills that you have to offer in a new position and how great you are. So it's that elevated thinking, and that's hope of going around. So it's really taking responsibility for holding that energy, and not that energy of lack of scarcity, lack of work, lack of what's going on. So that is an important piece. I now have the Lightseer Tarot again, and I am shuffling cards and just wondering, what are three? I'm going to pull three again. What's the message for you as you move forward? SS, what is the message for you? I have the King of Swords. I have the Nine of Cups. And I have the Ace of Swords. So the King of Swords, it's really this opportunity is looking at it from the eagle's view. I say the 10,000-foot view. So sometimes we can think of this event as just derailing us. Instead, this invitation is to say, okay, you might not have been aligned in the work that you were doing with what you want to create in your life. So this now gives you an idea to look. The king is the highest version of being analytical, really thinking through, sifting through what you want. this discipline and effort is important because there's no right or wrong way. I think that's the other thing that often we think about is, well, I just want to find the right way to get there, the right way. There isn't a right way. If you choose it and you fail, you learn. And that's what life is about. And so that's where this anxiety and fear of doing it wrong, we need to shift it and just say, okay, I'm going to look from this 10,000-foot view because this is where there is the raven, the owl, the wisdom. And I'm just going to really take the time to scan the landscape. Where do I want to go? What is it that I want in my life? And what do I need to be responsible for to get it? And that's an important thing because the Nine of Cups comes. Cups is the suit of water, the suit of emotions, and it's a very positive one. So, leaping for joy, these 9 cups are full. So, it's often like what you're going to get if you're going to have the progress, if you have the discipline and you scan the landscape and choose and work towards what you want. You take responsibility for what you want. You're actually going to be successful and you're going to shift in more alignment for yourself. You're going to shift. This is going to be an opportunity to shift that compass needle. So, really think about it. Really look forward and scan the horizon. Really think about what you want to do with your work because we are in there at least 8 hours a day. So, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? And the Ace of Swords is in protection. And I see this energy coming in, meaning as you sit with this, it's going to become clearer and clearer. And this new way forward is just going to open up for you. And it's going to start a new journey of learning because you're starting a new area of work, a new area of for yourself. Like I see it as it's just this new path forward that you haven't taken before. And it offers you different experiences that are going to really be helpful in your life and helpful. Like it's an important stepping stone as you move forward for what you want to create. I have Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal deck, and what is the energy you need? Pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. And that's where I was talking about earlier. Are you going to, if you're worried and fear, sometimes then what happens to me is that when it's difficult, I might try and numb myself. So that might be, binge watching series on Paramount or Netflix. And I'm not attending, I'm not doing the effort. I'm not taking the time to scan and really be analytical of where I want to go. So this is they're letting you know you can be successful. You can start this new path, but you have to do the work. You're responsible for it. No one else. It has to be you. So good luck, SS. I hope that you are successful in your endeavors, and I hope it works out for you, and I in the best way possible. My second reading is for LB, and LB, she was wondering about what can she learn about what's happening in her life right now. So when I hear that, I'm going to assume, because whenever we want to learn things, it's like learning from triggers, learning from challenges. So some of the things that I'm going to assume, and if I'm not, then you listen to this in alignment to what makes sense for you. So right now, what is the learning for you in what's happening? So I'm going to use the Tao Oracle again and look at what is the learning for you, LB, in what's happening right now. It's interesting. So this is about a revolution, and it's talking about transformation, a radical change, give up the old to make way for the new, a quantum leap. pretty much everything we talked about in the beginning of this. But it's saying to you, LB, that what's happening with you right now is your path forward, is your gateway forward. What parts, and when we're in a revolution, it reminds me of a different card that just has, a storm comes and blows everything up, or the tower card. It's this idea that the tower comes down. And there's some beauty in that, because as everything is transformed and changes and blown up in some ways, we get to look at the rubble. We get to look at all the pieces and say, what is it I want? Because it's sometimes easier to make changes when everything has shifted and you come back and now you're making something new. So you come back rather than staying in the same house, because you can't knock out walls. It's really difficult to renovate a house. Using that analogy, it's really difficult to shift walls and move everything. So this is really asking you to recognize, because your house is already blown up. The universe did it for you. Everything is changing in your life right now. What do you want to keep? What do you want to let go of? What doesn't serve you? So when I say take those quiet moments, connect with yourself, however you do that. Is it a walk? Is it a bath? Is it working out? What is it? Is it listening to music and just helping you? I imagine, like, I love listening to quiet meditative music, and I just float on the notes. That really just helps me connect into my body and allow my mind to open to the thoughts, images, and phrases that come. And then I trust those, and I write that down, and I invite my imagination. I invite these connections to come, and the messages to come. And that's what this opportunity is for you. And it's a powerful opportunity, because it means that you're going to have big changes and you don't understand. And what makes sense is that we never want to have a revolution. So a revolution is, we never want to have a tower moment. We never want everything to crush down, because our ego, our nervous system freaks out, because change for humans is hard, even if it's good change. This has been a theme. Even good change, our nervous system just goes alert, alarm, alarm, there's change. But the what if, it's positive. Really look at your positive what ifs. What if? What can you create in this revolution? Because this is a quantum leap. This means that this is this opportunity of your life to create a different trajectory, a different path than what was there before. And I get shivers when I say that, because that is powerful, to be on a different path in this. So think about it. I'm going to look at Michelle Buchanan's numerology deck and physical activity. So, and I get the physical activity as a way. It's important. It's important, LB, that you take this time I know for myself. So for myself, I recognize when things get stressful, when things get hard and worrisome, I tend to sit. So I become very dense and static and just, I don't move. And so when I have physical activity and I actually take my dog for the walk and I go on these long walks and I lift the weights and I do the workout, my energy flows and it's easier. It's just like the energy just starts to flow instead of being static and dense and unmoving, which is what happens when you're in the middle of a revolution, because you're ducking and changing. But it's saying, no, move your body, take on physical activity, because it's going to allow your energy to flow. It's from a science perspective, it's going to burn off the adrenaline that your nervous system is freaking out about. So if you can burn off that adrenaline, it's going to allow you to calm down and take some somatic exercises, deep breaths, deep stretching, so that you can start to listen to your new path forward, this new quantum leap, and you can make some decisions around that. I'm going to find out what you need to surrender to. This is Judith Orloff's deck of surrender cards. What do you need to surrender to in this? So LB, every one of these is a surrender card. Oh, you cannot make this up. Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and embrace every moment. So really surrender to your soul's path. So this is, tower moments are like that. Revolutions are like that. It throws everything up and it comes down. And this is your soul's path. So start moving the energy around you so that you can just calm your nervous system and you can feel into where your soul wants you to go. What does it want you to know? What does it want you to, where do you want to go? And when I say your soul's path, remember that what if of all the positives. There's also no wrong. Remember that. And when I think of my soul's path, and I think of and I imagine myself going on this path, like just a compass going around, right? And I imagine and I listen in my gut, in my heart space. Some people listen in their heart, some people listen in their gut. Listen with your body. When you think about that, do you tighten up? Does it feel good? Does it resonate? Is it those tuning forks going down your path? And that's when you know you're in alignment. So start brainstorming, start thinking, and start kind of imagining where this path could go in these quantum leaps, transformation and change. This is an opportunity for, I see brainstorming. So I see all these bubbles of brainstorming. Here's your soul's path, and you can go a million different ways. Each one offers you a life experience that is important. And I think sometimes we think if we go down that path, we're going to miss something out. And in my experience, it actually isn't that way. If it's meant to come to you, it's going to be there. It's going to be like a maze and you'll get there in a different way. So choose your experiences. Listen for the tuning forks. Listen for the resonance in your life. And with this Light Seer Tarot, what is it you need to know? Okay. Okay, we have Knight of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and 10 of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is about relationships. It is about our intuition and our experiences. So the Knight, when we read the court cards, it can either be a person. So this is a person who is wooing you, a person who is very romantic and connected to you. This can also be that energy. Something in your path is wooing you. That's where the resonance is. This is, it's where you find your heart being opened, either through a person or when you imagine going down that path, your heart just opens, just like love, like the love you have of being wooed. Because this Knight is about movement. The Knight in the suit is about movement. Cups, you can see he has the blanket. He set out this beautiful picnic for you with flowers. He's wooing you. And so that's what this feeling looks like when you look at this new pathway forward. You feel that woo. And it's either through a person or where you want to go. The people that are involved have that energy of that joy when you first meet someone that just goes through your body. And then the interesting thing is I have the 10 of Pentacles in protection and the 10 of Cups in protection. And I see them moving forward. And I see the 10 of Pentacles is the suit of everyday living. So in here, you can see, it's abundance of family, abundance of abundance of work, abundance of resources. It's just an abundance card. And the next one is 10 of Cups. And 10 of Cups is about relationships. And here it's riding the rainbow with the one you love, which can be yourself. It can be in relationship with others. It's just they're positive cards. So I find it interesting. And this is what I find interesting. Because to me, it makes sense. Follow the woo. That's where you need to go, because that's where you're going to find the abundance in your life. But there's a rub in here, because they're telling it to you either because it's difficult for you to recognize where you need to go. So maybe you have to recognize the woo, where you're finding it. And only you can answer that. No one else can answer this in your life, because you have to put your hand on your heart and you have to recognize how you're moving forward and where. And that's the important piece. And that's, I think, the rub, because I think sometimes we get into the shoulds. And this is where I think that's where this isn't about shoulds. I should do this because this is who I am. So I think about my own life. And I think about a huge career shift that I had, 27 years working towards the top of this organization, working towards a career goal for 27 years. And then I had this moment of revolution in my own life. And this moment was when I sat down, put my hand on my heart, and I looked at the woo. I was in an organization in which I was not happy. I was not joy-filled anymore. It did for 27 years. Fill me with joy, inspiration. It fueled me with such a passion. And in that moment of revolution, it didn't anymore. I was surprised. I was devastated. And then I was intrigued. You know why? In a roundabout way, it got me here. And I know this is my next. I can just feel the passion. This is my next road to service for women in big life transitions, in different spiritual modalities. So for you, you're going to have the same moment. You're going to look around you and wonder what's going on and where do I want to go? So initially, it's going to be surprising. That's what revolutions are, tower moments are. Initially, it's going to be WTF, because I didn't plan this. And how am I here? But follow the woo, follow your heart. And I'm going to use Colette Baron Reid's. I'm going to do 2. Colette Baron Reid's Animal Spirit. Clear out the clutter. So how you're going to start is by clearing out the clutter. What you know from this revolution, from this everything's being tossed everywhere, what you know you don't want. I had to do that when I was trying to call in my current husband. I was trying to call into my life someone that I knew that I needed. And so I had to start with my big rocks, and the big rocks that I didn't want. So I knew I didn't want this. It was much easier to clear out all the things that I didn't want. And then I could start to focus on the nuances of what I really, really wanted in my life. And our last one for you is the Spirit Oracle, LB. Spirit Oracle, just to help you make some decisions. Oh, you have to do, it is the past. So it says, and so I listened as my soul told me to let the past go, so that I may awaken to how much I have grown. The past releasing rebirth spring. This is such a moment for you to, it has that picture of the spring of new growth coming. And it's very clear of figuring out the big rocks that you don't want. So in this moment, and what the world wants you to do is it's an opportunity to shed It's like a dog shaking off all the water that it doesn't need. It's a very beautiful, difficult, and profound and sacred pause and moment in your life. So start journaling, start writing things down, start making lists, start that's what you're going to do from a mental perspective. Then you're going to put those aside and now you're going to feel with your body. And that's why you have to have the physical activity because you have to calm your body so you can listen to the pathway of the tuning forks so that you can hear the resonance for yourself. Don't be scared. Know that your spirit team is with you. So lean in, surrender, and know. Imagine this beautiful egg of white light is surrounding you with deep love, protection, and that your spirit team, your angels, your spirit guides, your loved one in spirit are just all touching this egg. I see this, they're just circling you and saying, it's okay. This is the fun part about being human. And even though we don't call it fun because it's really difficult, we like to live in the sun. We like to live in the no change. We like to live knowing exactly what's going to happen and be in total control. This lack of control is your opportunity to come in alignment with your destiny. So if you need more, keep on sending me the questions and I'll keep on doing the readings. I really love this time with you. You can send me your reading if you can't come out here on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can send it to me through Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll read your reading and pull some cards for you for guidance for you. Because what does your soul want to tell you as you move forward in your life? Take care and blessings.